Hi guys, welcome to a vlog with Tiffany. This is a little different than my normal vlogs because generally my vlogs are in the parent pickup line, but today I am in my home office. And the reason why I wanted to come on here and make a vlog is because in my Tuesday live, a lot of people were mentioning they would love to see my happy mail. They'd love for me to share the yarn that I'm working with or yarn reviews and some other fun things that I can't wait to share with you. It was just a matter of finding an opportunity and being here in my home office. I have everything at my fingertips. So it's a lot easier for me to grab this, grab that, opposed to me being in my car and I may or may not have everything that I want to share with you. And I have a lot to share with you. So I'm going to start with the happy mail because I've never really shared happy mail. I do get some happy mail and I don't know how to share it, I guess. Sometimes, most of the time it's letters, which I love, and then I hang on the inside door of my closet here. I just tape them to the door, so whenever I open the door, I see all of these letters or cards or just positive motivational vibes and words that they're very uplifting and they are very encouraging and they're very beautiful, and I love to read over those sometimes. And other times it is something that I just love to have. It's an item and I just have it, but I haven't really had a place to share it. So knowing that you guys want me to share my happy mail, I'm like, this is the perfect place for me to share. So I'm going to start with a letter that I received from Caroline. I'm not going to show the address side to this, but it was a beautiful letter. So Caroline is 11 years old. She's been knitting and crocheting for about 3 years. Now, I'm not going to read her whole letter because it's personal. It's words that she wanted to say to me, but I wanted to just acknowledge you, Caroline, for sending the letter. And one of Caroline's first projects was a baby blanket that she used one of my video tutorials on YouTube to make. And I'm so excited and feel so incredibly touched and blessed that your very first blanket project, maybe even my first crochet project, was one of your baby blankets. So your very first crochet project was one of my projects. And that's very, very special. And I'm so blessed and so touched that it was one of mine. You mention in here, or she mentions in here, that she loves the channel and that she loves my mystery box giveaways. Have you entered? Have you entered number 13? I actually announce the winner tomorrow. So, and lives in Connecticut, but hopes to one day live in Texas or Oklahoma, and she would love to meet me. And I would love to meet you too, Caroline, if we could make that happen. You are 11 years old, so bring your mom and dad if we are ever able to make that happen. I want to do meet and greets. That is something I am already talking to my people about making happen. I just got to take the steps to make it happen. Start small, feel it out, and then love to do just more hangouts, meet and greets in person. So that way we can just continue to make this crochet journey that we are on that much more special. So thank you so much, Caroline, for sending me a letter. It's beautiful. It is going to go on my wall of letters so I can look at it all the time. And so thank you very much for your letter. The other happy mail I wanted to share is actually from a subscriber of mine and a crafters gatherer. She mentioned in one of our crafters gathering meetings that she was making a sweater but wasn't sure who to give it to because it was a little, she just didn't know who to give it to. And so I was like, I'll take it. And so actually I'm wearing it. This sweater I'm wearing right now was made by one of my crafters gatherers, Lisa. And I am so happy to be able to wear it and showcase it and show it off. So this was super special, a very cool gift from one of my followers, and I absolutely love it. I think it's very, very cool. And then she also made a bunch of stitch markers. Now, if you watched my stitch marker video I made for the must-haves for brand new crocheters, I talk about how having a large loop could be very helpful. Having a large stitch marker could be very, very helpful for larger projects, bigger projects, so that way they're easier to identify. They're easier to see, and you can instantly find where you're looking instead of the smaller stitch markers, which can take you a second to even find, right? So she made a whole bunch of like large stitch markers for me, and I'm actually going to, with her permission, I got her permission, but I'm going to put one of these stitch markers in my mystery box giveaway so I can give it away. And that was actually a very cool thought that I want to bring to light and maybe put a little more attention on, is if any of my followers would like me to use something in one of the mystery box giveaways, I don't have a problem with that. I think that would be really, really cool and extra special and make us feel even more connected, you know, that somebody following the channel or somebody a part of this channel was gifting to another somebody that's a part of this channel. So I think that's really, really cool. But yeah, so lots of love. I'm very excited about these, very excited to use these. And it's just really, really neat when we can, or just to get happy mail and to be able to feel connected with you, my followers. It's just really, really cool. All right, so that is the happy mail that I have to share today. The next thing I wanted to talk to you about was the Noro Magazine. So I purchased the Noro Magazine, and I wanted to just figure out, like, I've never bought this particular crochet magazine before. And I was like, okay, a little curious about it. Like, I really liked the projects in here. And again, I get magazines and books for inspiration on how things are assembled, or colors that people are using, or how a pattern was used with another pattern, like how they were joined together. There's, oh my gosh, the options are really endless, and sometimes you can get lost in what all you can do with crochet. And so having just a little guidance can do wonders. And so I love, love, love magazines. Now, what I really took away from this magazine, what I really liked, were two things. I got little flags here. One is they talk about different ways of finishing your project, or blocking. A lot of this was blocking techniques. And the reason why I flagged this particular topic was because I feel like blocking techniques are ever changing. People have different opinions, or different material, different yarns need to be blocked in different ways. So just staying educated and staying up to date on the most current way of doing things, sometimes it's very beneficial because somebody figured something out that you didn't know already. And that is what I'm getting from this article right now. Now, when it comes to the Noro Magazine, they're really showcasing their yarn. So there's a Noro yarn, and everything made in this magazine is with their exclusive yarn. So it's kind of like a whole magazine marketing their yarn, basically. So that was one thing I learned. The other thing that I learned, or the other article I pinned, was Asaginu yarn material. So there's the name, Asaginu. And it's a craft, it's flax and Japanese washi. It's an artisan yarn, and it's more like that kind of yarn, or it's not made from an like an animal wool. It's more like plant based. But it is one that just looked really cool when you worked it up. So here's like a picture of how it looks when worked up. And I thought the material was really neat, really interesting. And I could see different ways I could have fun with this yarn. And just, it's amazing how different yarns, different fibers, the yarn is made out of, how it affects the look of the finished project. Like, you could literally do the exact same project with the same size yarn, same project, same size of yarn, but different fiber, and it will look very, very different. And that's one thing that I overcomplicate a lot of things. I think I need to work a complicated stitch, or I need to work many different stitches together to keep things interesting, when honestly, sometimes the most basic stitches look the best because you're focusing on the actual color or the yarn texture itself and what that yarn did in the process, and the stitch can be very simple. And I want to play with that a lot and play with different types of yarn, different yarn materials, and see how they work up what they do. That's just really neat. I really like that. So those were the two things that I really liked out of this article or this magazine. So just always staying up to date. It was also mentioning in here summer's hottest trends has a cool retro vibe. So if you're curious about the trends for summer, that's another reason why I got this, is I was like, oh my gosh, what's going to be popular? What's going to be really, really big for summer crochet? They mentioned some great ideas. So I would highly recommend, if you are someone wanting to be in the know with that information, this is a good magazine to have. And you don't necessarily have to use their exact patterns, but seeing the type of projects that they're showcasing and being like, oh, that type of project, I could switch that up and use this pattern, and it's in the same category for the hot trends. So some good things to know. All right, so I'm going to switch gears now and talk about the two hot whips that I am working on right now. I know on Instagram I mentioned 3, but these are my 2 biggies that I'm really, really excited about, and I can't wait to get them finished. They're going to be bigger projects though, so I'm going to have to figure out the recording of these, break it down, be smart. When it comes to recording big projects, having to break up the recording days so that way, okay, I'm going to record up to this point, and then I'm going to work up to the next point, and then record that step, and then work up to the next point, record that step. You just kind of have to record it in sections, if that makes sense. So what I have here is I'm going to be making a tote bag for summer. I want a really fun beachy bag, a really fun beachy tote bag, but I want to do one that's different, one that isn't just your average, everyone does it kind of tote bag. I'm going to have some bells and whistles with this that I think you're going to have a lot of fun with, and maybe push you a little bit to try something new. And it's really not that, it's not going to be that big of a push. It's not going to be that new or that extreme, but it's going to be something you may or may not have done before. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I love doing that kind of stuff with my projects, is thinking outside the box, you know, not necessarily coloring in the lines. So I'm starting the tote bag right here. I finished the bottom, and now I'm up to the part where I work up the structure. So I'm like, okay, I want to pause here, and I want to record up to this point, and then I want to work a little bit more, then record the next point, kind of thing. So I've got this going on right now. Very, very excited. I'm hoping I can get this tutorial done in the month of, so this is April, so May. This is going to be something going up in May. So I got to get my button gear on that one. And then this is the other major project I'm putting a lot of time into. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen the process of this blanket, like from me starting from the very beginning to where I am now with it. Just trying to show my behind the camera, my progress on what I was doing there. But this is where I'm at right now. It's going to be a summery baby blanket, and the colors have got me, guys. The colors have got me so hard because they're so bold and they're so saturated and they're so bright and colorful. I'm just loving them so much. They just scream summer. They scream summer. I can't wait. And the stitch that I'm using has a really cool texture to it, and it's super easy. My whole point with this blanket is to be an absolute beginner level blanket. That is what I'm aiming for with this project, being very thoughtful in the stitches that I choose to use. And this is awesome. I'm super, super excited for this one. So I need to get this one going, finished up. Ideally, I would like to get that one out in June, ideally, fingers crossed, we will see. I hate promising things and then stuff comes up, but that's what I'm thinking right now. 2 major projects that I'm very excited about: the tote bag, the summer blanket. Also with this one, I'm thinking about giving it a name like Popsicle. What do you think? Like, what do you think of that name? Like the summertime popsicle baby blanket, or the popsicle baby blanket, or summer popsicle, something like that. I think popsicle, because of those bright saturated colors, they just remind me of one of those rainbow popsicles in the summer that I used to eat when my kids were babies, and we would all eat a popsicle in the summer to cool down. So excited about that. All right, was there anything else that I wanted to share other than the mystery box giveaway being the winner being announced tomorrow, Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, Texas time? I think that's got you all caught up, and I'm really excited about this whole experience, and I have so much more to talk about now that I'm going to be doing some more vlogs at home in my office with you guys. So I can talk about yarn, and I can talk about more projects I'm working on, more Happy Mail as it comes in. I don't get a lot, but when it comes in, now I have a platform to share it on, and this was a lot of fun. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoy your evening, and I'll see you guys soon. Mwah! Bye, guys.